Hello and welcome to another week of weather, and again this connects to our chemistry courses. So today's topic is basically grade 11 chemistry. So I'm going to quickly go through the topics in our notes and connect it to grade 11 chemistry and give you a weather update all at the same time. So first we talk about atmospheric pressure in our notes, and like I said, if you take grade 11 chemistry, we have an entire unit on the atmosphere, gases, and pressure. So to tell you the full story, take grade 11 chemistry. So first we talk about pressure and then some things that affect it. So the first thing we talk about is altitude. So the higher up you go, the less dense the air is. So you have lower pressure. Quite a few years ago, I went on a trip to Machu Picchu, and that's in Peru, by the way. And before you go there, I went to a town called Cusco because you need to acclimatize. It's very high altitude, and I've heard of things called altitude sickness, and I rarely get sick. I'm like, I didn't really believe in altitude sickness, but it's true. It took me a couple of days to get used to being at that high altitude. You can't really function. I couldn't even walk. Like it's very hard to describe unless you experienced altitude sickness. So the higher up you go, the air is less dense. So if you just go in there suddenly, you'll have a hard time adjusting. But after a couple of days, your body does adjust. Take grade 11 biology to learn about homeostasis to see how our body does that. So that's about altitude. Higher up, air is less dense, so lower air pressure. And the next one we talk about is temperature. Again, that's grade 11 chemistry, the kinetic molecular theory. We learned about kinetic energy in our physics unit. So we know that kinetic energy is dependent on mass and velocity. So if you increase velocity or speed, you increase the amount of energy. So just picture like my fingers are particles. We know that our atmosphere is made up of gas particles. So when you increase temperature, these particles are going to move faster. They have more energy, they'll move faster, and they'll spread out. So that's why at a higher temperature, the particles are more spread out, so they're less dense. So that gives you lower pressure. The reverse is true. When it's colder, the particles move slower and then they'll come together. So they're more compact, they're more condensed. So cold air is dense, higher pressure. Warm air is more spread out, less dense, lower pressure. And then basically weather is just kind of this mix and mingle of this high pressure, low pressure systems. Then we talk about humidity. Here's going to do my weather report now. So, I've got it backwards. I got fired on my first day of my newscast as a weather reporter. So then we talk about humidity. Humidity is how much water vapor the air can hold. And again, the more water vapor there is, the lighter air is, because water vapor is less dense than the gases that are normally there, which is the nitrogen and oxygen. And we talk about relative humidity. So the percent humidity of how much water vapor is it holding compared to if it was saturated. So let's look at our weather forecast for today. So I know we are playing this on Monday, June 8th, but it's actually, I don't know what the day is. It's Wednesday, June 3rd. So looking at today's forecast, it says that the humidity is 27%. So the temperature is 25.5 degrees Celsius, humidity is 27%. So it's only 27% relative humidity. That's quite a low humidity. So it's not very humid out right now. Then the next thing in our notes, we talk about dew point. So the dew point in our notes says that's the temperature at which air is saturated with water vapor. So that's when it'll condense and fall as precipitation. So if we look today, the dew point is 5.1 degrees Celsius. So that's the temperature where it would be saturated with water vapor. And then the last thing we end our notes with is predicting weather. So according to our notes, it says when you have a drop in pressure, that suggests that warm air is going to be coming. And when you have warm, humid air, it's a little bit more unsettling, and you would predict that there'd be some storms and precipitation. Well, let's check our weather forecast. So it says right now that the pressure is 101.9. That's my favorite radio station. Oh, if you're not laughing, practice that, because if you take grade 11 chemistry, I'm going to use that joke a lot. So get used to hearing that. So the pressure is 101.9. My favorite radio station. And then it says it's falling. So according to our notes, when pressure drops, there should be warm air coming, but then maybe some storms or rain. Let's look at our weather forecast. I don't know if you can see. So today it's a high of 28 degrees. Tomorrow 27 sunny, Friday 22 and sunny, and look what's happening into the weekend. Saturday, chance of showers. Sunday, cloudy. Monday, showers. Tuesday, showers. So that is what they are predicting. So because it says that the pressure is dropping, we are predicting that there will be some rain and storms ahead. So by the time you watch this video, we'll see if that weather prediction was true. Did we actually get some unsettling weather, some storms and some rain because of this drop in pressure? We'll see. And that's the end of our notes. So like I said, we're just kind of there's so many topics. Each one of these topics is basically in its entire class in grade 11 chemistry, but once again, grade 11 chemistry is connecting to our weather unit and weather forecasting. So good luck with your assignment today, and I hope you enjoy the weather.